What's up everyone, this is Scher talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll be talking about Abyssal Fights Battle Forneus. This was the last challenge I didn't have a dedicated video for, I only did it on live stream, so now I want to make one to explain how this fight works, and it's actually very hard. Forneus is here to destroy you, and he's gonna use Maelstrom to do it. Not just that, but he has a lot of things on his hand, like blunt, pierce, cold, lightning. He can also stun and petrify. So you have to care about will and endurance, and that's because this fight can be pretty long. He's only weak to pierce and heat. I focused myself on doing, well, gun damage or even blunt and slash. I didn't even attack him with his weaknesses because, well, it was more about making the team work together, and the characters that I had that worked well against Forneus were not hitting his weaknesses. But you can find characters that will be strong here, like Barthélemy with his fire attacks, or someone like Young Xenon with pierce attacks, also Mikhail. Many characters will probably work well here. It's just that in my case I had to use other ones. So Forneus has cold attack as his main threat, so you have to focus on getting equipment that will help you with that. Well, let's talk about the equipments that I'm using here. There is one accessory that helps a lot that was dropping in his event in the past, that's called Fish Scale. This one gives 20 points of resistance against cold damage. This is going to help you a lot. And, well, let's talk about the first squad that I use it. Well, this one is scattered around Golden Ball, because Golden Ball buffs endurance to everyone when she gets hit. So we are buffing our endurance with Golden Ball. And then we will be buffing our will with Matriarch. I'm using the 4th version of Matriarch, but it can only be the 3rd one if you don't have her. This just makes it easier because she can heal as well. Then I'm using Pean of Peace every turn to buff will and also Dexterity, so that my Leon can do a lot of damage later. So I'm using a weapon with strong damage, like I have here 74%, and I inherit Ice Revolver just to buff the defense of Forneus. For the other characters, we have here Noel's daughter. She's not essential or anything. You can bring I-Token, for example, in her place. And also Final Empress, she's super useful because of the shield. So before we go more into this, let me explain something. Forneus will use Maelstrom and also buff himself before in turns 3, 4, 11, 14, and that is the way that he works. The reason why is that on the start of the fight, you only have 2 turns before he starts using, and then 3 turns after every Maelstrom, so it's gonna be a little easier. On the start of fight, I suggest you either use Final Empress Shield, so that you take 0 damage, or you can also bet on bringing Matriarch 4 Shield, so that you recover and negate Maelstrom. Sometimes use Maelstrom as a second attack, and then you take full damage. So there's that. So I prefer to use the Empress Shield first. With that said, this is the strategy. Let's go. Okay, now for the second strategy, we are using the last version of Boston. Why? Because Boston debuffs STR with his pincer time counter. This one also does blunt and slash, so it's not gonna be resisted, but it's not hitting a weakness. And you can use this many times, you're just not gonna use this when Forneus uses pump and also tries to Maelstrom. So these turns, you're just gonna use a normal attack. All other turns, pincer time. So just keep the best equipment to Boston. He's gonna take a lot of damage. So I'm using the Titan Suit and Proof of Work Tower together, so that I take very low damage. Then Empress is still here. Yeah, of course, she's a very valuable resource in this fight. The same can be said for Matriarch. But you don't need this one, to be honest. You can use the UDX if you don't have this. And Pean of Victory Inherited. This one makes it easier because of the heal from Pean of Protection that gives a shield too. And then I have Halloween Princess White Rose because every time we got hit, we got wheel buff. So you see the first strategy had two different characters buffing the main needed status and Rancid Wheel. Here I am also debuffing STR with Boston. Another good resource here is Mystic Asellus because of Rising Nova Plus that cleanses all buffs from the enemy. So this is a buff break skill. There are other characters that can use something like this, like GLEX Vampire Lady. There's also by Inheritance of Rouge, of Rock Bouquet, or also the latest version of Barbara, GLEX. So this works to decrease the damage every some turns because Forneus is gonna keep buffing himself. So this one worked well. Let's go.